Hari Om, Chapter 2, Verse 24. Sankhya Yoga, Philosophy of Life. In verse 24, Lord Krishna said, Hey Arjuna, self cannot be cut into pieces. It cannot be burnt. It cannot be drowned. Or it cannot be dried. We have seen the example of sunlight. Now, Arjuna might have had the following questions. If self cannot be destroyed, what is the nature of the self? Can it change from one place to another? In which place it is there? Will it move? How old it is? Lord Krishna answers his questions. Verse 24. अच्छेद्योऽयमधर्क्योऽयम् अक्लेत्योशोष्य च नित्यः सर्वगतस्ताणुः अचलोऽयं सनातनः अच्छेद्योऽयमधर्क्योऽयम्. Krishna says, self cannot be cut into pieces. It cannot be burnt. Akletyoshoshya cha. It cannot be drowned. It cannot be dried. Nitya sarvagadastanuhu. Nitya, it is eternal. Sarvagadaha, it all pervades everything. Stanuhu, it is stable. Achaloyam sanatanaha. Achaloyam, immovable. Sanatanaha, most ancient. Lord Krishna says, Hey Arjuna, this self cannot be cut into pieces. It cannot be burnt. It cannot be drowned. And it cannot be dried because it is eternal, all pervading, stable, immovable, and ancient. Lord Krishna says, the self cannot be killed either by natural forces like storm, earthquake, or flood, and by the man-made instruments like knife, gun, atom bomb, anything, whatever you say. It cannot be killed. He says, self is eternal. The one which can neither be destroyed by natural forces or by unnatural forces must be eternal. All other things and beings will be destroyed either by nature or by man-made instruments. Hence, self is nitya and not anitya. Then, self is all-pervading. That is sarvagataha. Take the example of space. There is no place where space is not there. Each human being or animal or building occupies space according to its size. Ants also occupy a very small space. Humans occupy a little bigger space. Elephants may occupy a much higher space. Buildings occupy a bigger space. Once the animal, the human beings, or the buildings are destroyed, then that space is vacant. Whatever has name and form occupies some space. Hence, space pervades everything. Everything else occupies space for some time. Only a very small portion is occupied. Even the sun, moon, earth and other planets and the entire universe occupies a minuscule portion of space. Space pervades everything. Self or Atma pervades even space. Hence, self is all-pervading. It is everywhere. There is no place in which self is not there. That is why it is sanatanaha. Since self pervades everything, it is stable. That is tanuhu. And immovable. That is achalaha. Again, taking the example of space. Space is everywhere and hence it is always stable and immovable. If you want, try and move space from one place to another. Only thing is, people will think you have to be sent to a mental asylum. Since self pervades even space, it is stable and immovable. Self is ancient, Sanatanaha, most ancient. A brilliant explanation is given by Swami Chinmayananda ji for the word Sanatanaha, that is ancient. I will try to give his explanation as nearly as possible. It is impossible for a poor fellow like me to give or narrate the beautiful and wonderful explanation given by Swami Chinmayananda ji. But I must say this, otherwise Gita will be incomplete. Sanatanaha means most ancient. Swami Chinmayananda ji makes an imaginary situation wherein he and his disciple are discussing what is Sanatanaha, most ancient. Swami Chinmayananda ji asked, what is most ancient? Disciple answers, Swamiji, can we say 5th or 6th century is most ancient? Swamiji then asked, what about the 4 centuries preceding it? Disciple, oh, I got it. It is the 1st century. That is the most ancient. Swamiji asks, what about 12 months preceding it? Disciple says, oh, I got it. It is the 1st month. Swamiji then asks, what about the 29 days preceding it? Disciple says, now I got the answer, Swamiji. It is the 1st day. Swamiji asks, what about the 24 hours preceding it? Then the disciple says, Swamiji, I think it is the 1st hour. Then Swamiji asks, an hour consists of 60 minutes. Then what about that 60 minutes? Disciple says, now it is the 1st minute. Swamiji again asks, what about the 60 seconds preceding it? Disciple, Swamiji, I got it. It is the 1st second. Swamiji laughs and says, what is this poor English, 1st second, contradictory words together? Then Swami Chinmayananda ji explains, time is interval between 2 events. For example, when you travel from Delhi to Mumbai by flight, you can say it took 2 hours to complete the travel. If you are not traveling and simply sitting in Delhi, there is no time, because the second event is not there. Similarly, when you are in deep sleep or when you are under the influence of chloroform, there is no time. Our rishis, the masters of self, found out that events taking place in some other place cannot give my experience of time. My experience of time can come only between the events taking place for me. Rishis have said that time is interval between 2 experiences. Experience is impossible without a thought. Interval between 2 thoughts is the measure of time. For the infinite consciousness, when the first thought came, it was 0 time. Only when second thought came, time started. That is why unit of time is second and not first. At first thought, there is no time. That is why self is ancient. Swami Chinmayananda ji says that people from other religions proudly say that their gods have history, whereas Hindu gods are a myth. Many Hindus repent that Hindu gods are a myth and they are unable to answer the other religious preachers. Chinmayananda ji says that if you have a history, then there is a time when you are born and there is a time when you have died. That means other gods are born and died. Lord Krishna was in existence before time was born. Hence he is unborn. Only beings and things which are within the time frame will have birth and death. Hence, Lord Krishna is a myth. Lord Krishna pervades everything and every being. He is the self. That is why self is Sanatanaha. I seek apologies from Swami Chinmayananda ji and his devotees if I have not correctly captured what Swami Chinmayananda ji has said. We will see verse 24 again. Acchedyoyam adakyoyam akletyoshosya yevacha nityas sarvagadastanuhu achaloyam sanadanaha. Tomorrow we will see the next verse. Hari Om Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Narayan 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 Narayan